Hi, I'm Ken Bykoff here with Campus Insiders Jordan Cornette and Shae Peppler, Notre Dame alum, IU alum. Guys,
Look how much pride when you say Indiana.
Because I'm on an Indiana channel right now. I'm feeling secure.
All right, so who's having a better season, IU or Notre Dame?
I mean, that's hard, man. I think the kind of, when you talk about Indiana, I think it's inconsistencies is kind of what you'd say with them. And with Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame's probably a top 25 team if Jaron Grant doesn't get lost to suspension. I think if you want to talk about it, I'd say the better season would have to be Notre Dame right now just because they're in position to possibly still make the tournament as opposed to where Indiana is. I think you can go ahead and write Indiana off, and I don't believe they're a tournament team. But either way, both teams underwhelming, right?
Wait, couldn't you say that about us too? Okay, if we don't lose Victor Oladipo and sell her to the draft, we could be in the same place. If you don't lose Jaron Grant, it's like that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. But you knew coming into the season that you weren't going to have those guys. Notre Dame had to figure it out at the semester break mid-season. We had already were on our way to a solid season this season, having lost in pretty bad manner to Ohio State in New York at the Garden. And you're thinking, okay, well, we'll turn the page, we'll turn the corner, and then you lose Jaron Grant, and then we've gone on a skid here.
So how do you pull out of that skid?
I think you pull out of that skid by shooting. Hey, look, the calling card for every Mike Brey team has been the ability to shoot the basketball. If they're able to shoot the ball at a high clip, this team can beat teams. Look no further than that Syracuse game the other night. We knocked down some shots. We competed in that game. Now, can they do that consistently? Coach Brey teams are always fantastic in February. So that's where they'll do their work. That's where they can still potentially play themselves into March. And if I'm playing for Indiana right now, you might as well look at the best vacation spot for spring break because you guys ain't dancing.
I mean, I would agree with you. But, hey, I feel like we're so inconsistent. We beat Wisconsin, like we said, and then we beat Michigan at home. But then you go on the road and you lose. So I feel like why can you say that about Notre Dame but not about IU?
On the road and you lose. You lost to Northwestern where, Ken?
At Northwest.
At home.
Oh, at home. At home.
Yeah,
shoot.
exactly. See, it sounds great.
Has Notre Dame won on the road yet?
We have not won on the road, and that's the problem with our team as well. But we have opportunities to. We still go to Pitt. We still go to Virginia. We still go to Carolina. Those are three opportunities that, if we shoot the ball well, we have a shot.
Indiana goes to Minnesota, goes to Purdue, has some road opportunities.
Okay, now we're talking about Purdue. That's what we're talking about right now. Purdue wins our wins. And for Notre Dame, I think it's essential that we protect the home court. And it starts this Saturday with Carolina coming to town. That'll be a good resume win. So I think there's more opportunities resume-wise for Notre Dame to do more work. But we all know conference tournaments.
Why is North Carolina a good resume win?
Because right now, I'd say North Carolina is probably a tournament team right now. If not now, I believe they will be by the end of the season.
Indiana gets to 500 in the Big Ten, and
the lights go on right there. Well, what light needs to go on in Shae's head is that Northwestern won at Bloomington.
What's a better team right now?
Better team right now. I think that's a great question, Shae. What do you think?
Well, I think you know what I'm going to say, but I would say it's Indiana right now. I feel like they're building up momentum. Things seem to be more clicking on all cylinders. Notre Dame just had a bad loss to Virginia at home. Now this weekend ranked team. This weekend will be a good test for them with North Carolina.
I think the reason I'd say Notre Dame's a better team, obviously because they beat you guys earlier this year. Let's not forget in the belly of the beast at Conseco Fieldhouse. So that's one reason why I'd say that.
The
next reason I would also say, and we talked about this earlier on, is Noah Vonleh not being utilized nearly enough. He's one of the most talented kids in the Big Ten. Takes 7 shots a game. That's unacceptable. I believe that they were too reliant on Yogi Ferrell, and it's a one-man team right now, unless you use more Vonleh. When you talk about the Irish, you talk about the Irish, there's not that star power. It's a more balanced team. It's a more balanced effort. A different guy in every game rise to the occasion. Last game, it was Steve Vastoria. Nobody's even heard of Steve Vastoria. So I think when you talk about this team, it's any man's guess who's going to beat you. But ultimately, we have to knock down shots.
Let me ask this question. Actually, Ken, I want to ask you this question, too. Do you think that we can win a national title with Crean as our head coach?
Yes, and I think that you can, but you need to continue to recruit at the level that he has. I mean, look, he's brought in Zeller and Oladipo, 2 guys that are lottery picks. Vonleh's probably going to be a lottery pick. Now you need to take that next step and be able to build up your depth and have the athleticism and all that, which they're working on. But again, Indiana's dealing with a lot of guys that you have athletes who are playing basketball, and they're trying to turn them into basketball players who are athletic, like they did with Victor Oladipo.
Better future, Indiana or Notre Dame? Moving forward for the program.
I think Indiana, because they're bringing in the shooters that they need next year. They're going to lose Vonleh probably because he's certainly getting a lot of attention. The kid has a chance to be a lottery pick. He's probably going to go.
We have some solid recruits signed for next season.
Yeah, and James Blackman is a special kid, and then you have Robert Johnson and Max Hetzel. So it's a bright future. How about, what do you think?
I think when you talk about Notre Dame, I think you lose Eric Atkins, obviously a 4-year guy. He's pretty much been the face of the program. But Pat Connaughton's a year older. He becomes a senior. He's already been a leader this season. He'll be a leader next season, undoubtedly. You've got guys like Steve Astoria, VJ Beecham, Zach August, guys who are logging heavy minutes this year that weren't expected to, but with the loss of Grant and Beachside, had to step up. So I think you're almost playing for next season right now with the Irish, and I think that's only going to benefit them come next year. Now, how the new recruits come in, I'm not a guy who pays attention to recruits, to be honest. I was a top 50 guy, and my career was forgettable. So, actually, I was the all-time leading shot blocker.
All-time leading shot blocker.
We got something.
Hear the story
but
every
ultimately,
day.
1-2 all-time against Indiana.
That's true. Gosh, this guy does his homework. That's why I read his stuff. But ultimately, I think you're only as good as your leadership. I think we're going to have a great leader in Pat Connaughton going into next season. And ultimately, the momentum and how we finish this season is something vital to the operation. We'll see what happens.
It'll be an interesting next 6 weeks to the season, and then next year and beyond will be interesting. Follow at Jordan Cornette
At Jordan
Twitter,
Cornette. That's right.
at Shae Peppler, and
AE.
and
this guy right here.
Ken Bykoff.
There you
For
go.
Campus Insiders, I'm Ken Bykoff.